The Last Ride. Part 1, The Carnival's Whisper. The Ferris wheel creaked in the night air, its rusted spokes slicing the darkness like crooked fingers. The carnival had arrived on the outskirts of town just 2 days ago, rolling in like a wandering shadow. But no one seemed to remember when it left last time, if it ever really had. For 17-year-old Sam, the carnival was a distraction from a long summer of nothing. He and his friends heard the rumors, people disappearing, lights flickering oddly, and strange laughter echoing when the midway should have been quiet. But that was just stories. Right? The moment Sam stepped through the torn striped canvas entrance, the air shifted. The smell of popcorn and burnt sugar mixed with something colder, something rotten beneath the sweetness. The barkers' voices twisted and stretched like smoke, calling out names no one remembered having. Sam's friend Lily tugged his sleeve. "Don't stay too late," she whispered. Her eyes were wide, haunted. "People say the carnival feeds on more than just quarters." Sam laughed it off, but the hairs on his neck stood tall anyway. They wandered past the stalls, each one strangely empty but lined with prizes that shimmered unnaturally, dolls with glassy eyes that seemed to blink, masks that whispered when you looked away, and mirrors that showed reflections you didn't recognize. At the edge of the midway, the tent loomed. Black and red stripes faded and torn, it was called the House of Mirrors. The sign was hand-painted but the letters seemed to twist and bleed in the flickering light. "Last one in is a rotten egg," one of Sam's friends joked as they rushed in, but inside, the laughter died away. The air grew thick. The walls shimmered and stretched beyond reason. Sam's reflection didn't match his movements, his smile lingered after he'd stopped grinning, and his eyes blinked too slowly, too deliberately. Suddenly, a whisper brushed past his ear. "Stay forever." He spun around, but the corridor behind him had vanished, replaced by an endless maze of glass twisting into darkness. He wasn't alone. Figures flickered in the mirrors, distorted faces with hollow eyes, mouths stretched too wide, hands reaching out from behind the glass as if trapped. Sam's heart slammed. He tried to run, but the maze shifted, corridors folding and unfolding like a living thing. Behind him, laughter swelled, childlike and cruel. The carnival wasn't just a place. It was a trap. And Sam was already caught. Part 2, The Ringmaster's Game. Sam's breath hitched as the glass maze shifted around him like a living nightmare. His own reflection sneered, lips peeling back to reveal rows of jagged teeth. He tried to scream, but only silence answered. From the shadows, a voice rose, smooth, cold, and deadly sweet. "Welcome, welcome," it cooed. "You've entered my domain, boy. Few leave the carnival unchanged, fewer leave at all." Sam's eyes darted to the far end of the hall, where a figure emerged from behind a cracked mirror. The ringmaster. Tall, slender, with a top hat that seemed to absorb the light. His eyes gleamed like black holes. He wore a coat stitched from velvet and shadows, buttons like chipped bone. In one hand, he held a deck of cards that shimmered with impossible colors. "The carnival is a game," the ringmaster said, flipping a card that flickered between faces, smiling, crying, screaming. "You've wandered into a web spun long ago. Each visitor becomes a player, and the stakes are your soul." Sam's chest tightened. The walls seemed to pulse, mirrors cracking and healing as if alive. "Escape?" Sam whispered, voice trembling. The ringmaster smiled wider. "Oh, you may try. But every game has its rules." He snapped his fingers. The maze around them changed instantly. The walls became endless mirrors reflecting 1,000 Sams, each trapped in their own moment of fear. "You'll play a game of chance," the ringmaster said. "Draw a card. Win, and you earn a step closer to freedom. Lose, and you join the reflections, forever trapped, a ghost in the carnival's glass." Sam's hand shook as he reached for the deck. His fingers brushed the cards. Cold. He drew a black joker. The ringmaster's smile deepened. "Ah. The joker. The wild card. Suddenly, the mirrors cracked, and the reflections began to shift. One leaned forward, its face twisted in terror, begging. Another smiled, lips sewn shut. Your move, Sam. Part 3, The Ticket Collector. Sam's pulse pounded as the ringmaster's laughter echoed around the twisting mirrors. He staggered forward, trying to shake off the terror clawing at his mind. Then, from the shadows beside a cracked mirror, a small figure appeared. A girl, no older than Sam, with pale skin and eyes like cracked glass. She held out a wrinkled hand, fingers clutching a rusted metal ticket. Name's May, she whispered. I've been caught here longer than I can count. The carnival, it feeds on us. On our fear, our memories. The ticket collector takes what we lose. Sam eyed the ticket. Ticket collector. May nodded grimly. He's the one who makes sure no one leaves without paying. But the price isn't just money. She gestured to the mirrors. All these faces. They're the ones who lost the game. Their souls trapped in the glass, feeding the carnival's hunger. Sam swallowed hard. How do I get out? May shook her head. No one truly escapes. But there's a way to bargain. The ringmaster's game can be cheated, if you have something to offer. Her eyes flicked to the rusted ticket. This, she said. A ticket to the carnival's heart. The place where the ticket collector waits. If you can find him, maybe, just maybe, you can make a deal. Sam glanced around. The mirrors shimmered, reflections twisting and shifting. I'll play, he said. May smiled, a sad, fleeting thing. Good. Because the carnival's hunger only grows. Suddenly, the air thickened. The mirrors warped, and from the deepest shadows, a figure stepped forward. Tall, thin, and draped in tattered carnival garb. His eyes gleamed like shards of broken glass. The ticket collector had arrived. His voice was a rasping whisper. Looking for a way out. Part 4, The Bargain. The ticket collector's grin was a fracture of shadows and broken teeth. You seek freedom, he rasped, voice like dry leaves scraping stone. Sam swallowed hard, heart hammering in his chest. May stepped back, clutching her ticket as if it were a lifeline. Every escape costs something, the ticket collector said, his eyes glinting like splintered glass. Memories, dreams, or something darker. He produced a small, ornate box. Inside lies a choice. Give up your happiest memory, and I'll open the gate. Sam's mind screamed. The happiest memory. The summers by the lake with his little sister, the feel of sun on his skin, her laughter ringing like bells. Could he sacrifice that? The carnival seemed to close in around him, the mirrors twisting, the laughter rising in cruel crescendo. He glanced at May, whose eyes pleaded silently. No one escapes untouched, she whispered. Sam reached into the box. A single vial shimmered inside, glowing faintly blue. He closed his eyes. Memories flooded through him, sunlight, warmth, love. Then, with shaking hands, he touched the vial to his lips. A cold rush swept through him, and suddenly the world felt lighter, and emptier. The ticket collector nodded. The gate is open. Sam found himself at the carnival's edge, the night air crisp and real. The lights were fading. The tents folding like ghosts at dawn. Behind him, the carnival whispered, a promise and a threat. But as he looked back, the ticket in his hand burned cold. The happiest memory was gone. Replaced by a hollow ache. And the carnival, it was still waiting. Part 5, The Last Ride. The carnival was disappearing beneath the dawn mist, tents collapsing into shadows, the Ferris wheel creaking its last slow rotation. Sam's heart pounded with something more than fear, a growing emptiness where his happiest memory had lived. But he wasn't free. Not yet. Ahead, the ringmaster waited beside the rusted gates. His smile was wider, more sinister than ever. Did you enjoy the game? he asked softly. Few make it this far. Sam's hands clenched. What do you want from me? The ringmaster tipped his hat. Only this, your final ride. A rickety carousel stood beyond the gates, horses frozen in mid-gallop, their eyes dark and hollow. Ride at once, the ringmaster said, voice like a velvet blade. If you survive, you'll walk away free. Sam hesitated but stepped onto the carousel. The music box began to play, slow, twisted, like a lullaby from a nightmare. The horses came alive. Their eyes glowed red. Their mouths opened in silent screams. Sam mounted the nearest one. The carousel spun faster and faster. The world blurred, the carnival, the town, his memories swirling in a vortex of pain and fear. Visions assaulted him, faces of those trapped forever in the carnival's glass prisons, their mouths sewn shut, their screams unheard. His own face appeared in the mirrors, twisted and fractured. The carousel slowed. Sam's breath was ragged. The ringmaster's smile was cold. Do you wish to leave? Sam nodded. Then give me a name. The carousel stopped. The horses frozen again. Silence. Tell me, Sam, what is your name now? Sam's lips trembled. He realized the terrible truth. To leave, he had to give up more than a memory. He had to give up himself. The carousel's music box wound down. The last note echoed like a death knell. Sam felt himself fade, the hollow ache growing. And the carnival whispered, hungry, waiting for the next ride.